Om Sri Gurupyo Namaha. Hari Gurayarappa Sharanam. Here, Dasagam 81 of Narayaneeyam, which is Narakasuramukthi. This is based on Srimad Bhagavatam, Dashamam, chapters 58 and 59. The marriage of Draupadi and Subadra Harana is based on Mahabharata stories. Satyabhama was especially dear to Krishna, who was loving and shy. Along with her, Krishna attended the marriage of Panchali with Pandavas. One day, Krishna and Arjuna went out for a ride in the chariot. They were riding along the banks of river Yamuna when they could see from a distance a beautiful maiden alone. Krishna said to Arjuna, "O Arjuna, please go ahead and ascertain who that maiden is." Arjuna obeyed. Soon he came up to her and politely asked, "Pray, gentle maiden, who are you and why are you wandering alone?" The maiden replied, "I am Kalindi. My mother is the deity of this river. My father is the sun god. I live in a palace under the river but built by my father for me. I am in search of Lord Krishna. I have heard much about him and wish to marry him and no one else." Arjuna gently replied, "Then, princess, get into this chariot. I shall take you to Krishna, who is standing there." In a few minutes, they reached Krishna, who received them gladly. They drove up to Indraprastha to receive Yudhishthira's approval and blessings from Aunt Kunti. Arjuna was staying with Krishna in the guise of a sage, wanting to marry Subadra, Krishna's sister, whom Balrama wanted to give to Duryodhana in marriage. With the advice of Krishna, Arjuna abducted Subadra. Though Balrama was furious on this, Krishna convinced him and made him agree to their marriage. One day, Krishna and Arjuna went out hunting in the dense Gandhava forest. Agnideva had long wanted to consume this forest, but without success. Arjuna now helped him to consume it without being drenched by rain by covering the forest with a roof of arrows. In return, the Agnideva presented him with a shining chariot, 4 magnificent horses, and impenetrable armor, the bow Gandiva, and an inexhaustible cure. Mayan, the clever architect of the Asuras, was caught in the fire and he was allowed to escape by Arjuna. In return, he built a wonderful audience hall for Pandavas. Now, Krishna with his friend Satyaki and the bride-elect Kalindi now returned to Dwaraka, and the marriage with Kalindi was solemnized with religious rites and festivities. Mitravinda, the beautiful princess of Avanti, also had longed to marry Krishna, who was her cousin too. But her 2 brothers were partisans of Duryodhana and would not permit their sister to choose Krishna as her husband. So Krishna had no option but to use force. He invaded Avanti with a large force, defeated the enemy, and carried away the happy bride to Dwaraka and married her also with solemn rites. Nagnajit, king of Kausala, was a good ruler. His daughter Satya, known as Nagnajiti, had loved Krishna ever since her childhood. She longed to marry Krishna. Krishna, ever devoted to his devotees, was also willing, but there was a big hurdle. The old king, in his anxiety to select a suitable bridegroom, had stipulated that the suitor should conquer 7 fierce bulls unarmed. This proved calamitous. Many brave princes had been put to death, and Krishna too now offered to try. Krishna divided himself as 7 so that there was one Krishna for each bull. Catching each bull by the horns, he forced it back on its haunches with ease as a child plays with a toy bull. After tethering them all together, the 7 Krishnas became one again. The king was pleased and agreed to give his daughter to Krishna. As dowry, the king offered a well-equipped, powerful army and 100 maidens as attendants to the bride. Next, he married Bhadra, Lord Krishna's aunts, that is father's sisters. Sukriti was married in the kingdom of Kaucha. Bhadra was the daughter of Sukriti. Bhadra had a strong desire to marry Krishna and she married Lord Krishna unconditionally. Then the princess Lakshmana, or she is also called as Lakshana of Madra, the target, which was just a reflection of a fish in water, and striking which successfully, Krishna married Lakshana. And with this, the number of Krishna's wives became 8. Narakasura, the offspring of Mother Earth, was proving to be terror to gods and men. He waged fierce war against the Devas, drove Indra from heaven, and even snatched Aditi's earrings. And Indra was hiding in Snigdam Mugdam Sadadamambitam Lalayan Satyabhamam Yado Bhuyah Sakalutaya Yajnaseni Vivaham Partha Prityai Punarabi Managastido Hastipuryam Chakraprastam Puramabi Vibho Samvidaya Gadophu. Though always endured the loving and very beautiful Satyabhama. Thereafter, though went with her to attend the wedding of Panchali to please the Pandavas, though stayed in Hastinapuram for some time. Oh Lord, though then founded the city of Indraprastha and then returned to Dwaraka. Badram Badram Bhavadavarajam Kauravenartyamanam Tadvajatamahruda Kuhanamaskari Chakrasunuho Tatra Krudam Balamanunayan Pratyagastena Sardham Chakraprastam Priyasagamude Satyabhama Sahaya. The younger sister, the virtuous Subadra, was sought in marriage by the Kuru prince Duryodhana. She was carried away by Indra's son Arjuna in a guise of an ascetic at thy behest. Balarama was enraged at this, but was later pacified by Bhagwan, though then went with him and Satyabhama to Indraprastha to get delight of their dear friend Arjuna. Tatra Kridanabija Yamuna Gula Dushtam Grihitva Tam Kalindim Nagaramagavaha Khandava Prinidagni Bradrutastram Pranaya Vivasham Deva Paidrishwaseim Ratnyam Madhye Sapadijagrishe Mitravindamavandi. Even as those sported there, those saw Kalindi on the banks of the river Yamuna and took her as thy wife. Thou pleased the god of fire Agni by letting him consume the Gandhava forest and then return to the city of Dwarika. The princess of Abandi, Mitravinda, was the daughter of thy father's sister and was greatly in love with thee. She was afraid of her brother and was helpless, though took her away suddenly in the presence of many kings. Satyam gatva punarudavaho nagnajinnandanam tam badva sapta picha prishavaran saptamurtir nimeshal Badram nama pradadurathate deva sandardhanadhyaha talsodarya varada bhavada swami paidrishwasei. Though then went to Kausala and married the king Nagnaji's daughter after demonstrating their strength by harnessing 7 powerful bulls simultaneously, assuming 7 forms. Oh, Hare, Bhadra's brothers, Sandardana and others gave her to thee in marriage. O bestower of boons, she was also daughter of thy father's sister. पार्थाद्यैरप्य कृदलवनं तोयमात्राभिलक्ष्यं लक्षं चित्वा शफरमवृथा लक्ष्मणामद्रगण्याम् अष्टावेवं तव समभवन् वल्लभास्तत्र मध्ये शुश्रोथत्वं सुरपतिगिरा भौमदुश्चेष्टिदानी. The target, which was just a reflection of a fish in the water, was not hit at even by Arjuna and others, striking which you married Lakshana, who was the daughter of the king of Madra. Though then came to know about the misdeeds of Bauma from Indra's words. श्रुतायादं पक्षिप्रवरमधिरूढस्त्वमगमो वहन्नङ्गे भामाम् उपवनमिवारादिभवनं विबिन्दन् दुर्गाणि तृडिन पृदनाशोणितरसैः पुरं तावत् प्राग्ज्योतिषमगुरथाः शोणितपुरम्. Though rode with Satyabhama on thy lap, riding the divine bird Garuda, who came to thee as and when required and remembered, though went to the residence of the enemy as if you were going to a garden. After destroying the fortification of the city Pragjyotish, you killed the army and made the blood run all over the city, though soon converted the city of Pragjyotisha into Shonitapura. That is, Shonitapura is the city of blood. Here, Nagasura was born to Mother Earth through her contact with Bhagavan in his Varaha Avtara, and Naraka had obtained Varam that even Bhagavan should kill him only with the consent of his mother, Bhudevi. Since Satyabhama was an incarnation of Bhumi Devi, now Krishna took Satyabhama along while going to kill Narakasura. Murastam Banjasyo Jaladivana Madhyadudapad Jaladivana Madhyadudapadad Sachakrena Pradalida Shiram Angshubhavada Chadurdandaihi Dandavala Padibir Indhanama Samaram Rathangena Chitwa Naraga Magarostirna Narakam. The Asura Mura, having 5 faces, rushed towards thee from the middle of the forest, which was like an ocean. He was at once made headless by thy discus cutting off his 5 heads. Then Narakasura, with his regiment of mighty 4-tusked elephants, gave a prolonged tough fight. You cut off his head, also made him pass over hell and saved him from the suffering of hell. Studo bhumya rajyam sabadi bhagadatte syadanaye gajam chaigam dhatva prajigayidanagan nijapurim khalena baddhanam swagada manasam shodacha punaha sahasrani strinam abhicha thanarashim cha vipulam. Bhumi Devi sang hymns in thy praise, though at once gave the kingdom and an elephant to Narakasura's son Bhagadatta. The rest of the elephants you sent away to Dwaraka along with a good amount of wealth, though also sent the 16,000 women who nourished love for thee and were imprisoned by the wicked Narakasura. भौमाभाहृतकुण्डलं ददति ते दातुं प्रयादो दिवं चक्राद्यैर्महितः समं दयिदया द्युस्तीषु दत्तक्रिया हृत्वा कल्पतरुं रुषाभिपदितं जित्वेन्द्रमभ्यागमः तत्तु श्रीमददोष ईदृश इति व्याख्यातुमेवाकृता. To give back to Aditi the ear ornaments which were taken away by Narakasura, you went to the heaven. Satyabhama had accompanied thee, who put to shame the women there with her beauty. Though were received with honor by Indra and others, though took away the Kalpadaru, at which the angered Indra put up a fight. Though won over him and returned to the city, Hare, you did so to demonstrate to the world the evil which is generated from prosperity. Kalpadrum Satyabhama Bhavana Bhuvisrijan Drishta Sahasrayoshah Swigritya Pratyagaram Vikida Bahu Abuhu Lalayan Keli Bedaihi Ashcharyal Naradalogida Vibidagadihi Tatra Tatra Bige Bhuya Sarva Sukurvan Dasha Dashatanayan Pahi Vadalayesha. Though planted the Kalpadruma in the courtyard of Satyabhama's palace, the 16,000 women were accepted by thee as wives. Though took on as many forms and engaged thyself in each of those houses of these wives in various activities and lovingly nurtured them. Narada was surprised to see thee sporting in this manner, though then gave each of them 10 sons. Oh, Hare Guruvayurappa, kindly save me. With this sloka, we have completed this chapter 81. And to conclude this video, we will now listen to Sati Suresh's bhajan song.
मैं हरि चरणन की दासी मलिन विषय रस त्यागे जग के मैं हरि चरणन की दासी आवो प्रीतम सुंदर निरूपम अंतर होत उदासी मानत नहीं मन धीरज मोहन तर पत्नी सदिन दासी सावरिया मोहनी